My name is PJ. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Showpad. And today I'm going to talk about how your buyers are changing and how that's impacting your sales team. Any company that's selling products or services into the market obviously has, or needs buyers. Hopefully you have buyers. And there's a lot of change going on in sales, marketing, and the relationship with the buyers, and that has a big impact on your sales team. So maybe first let's have a look, and if you would put buyers and companies on a scale, you would see that this is how it looked 10 years ago. All of the powers was with, and this represents a company, so but all of the power would be at the enterprises. They had all the pricing information, they had the market information, they know, they have a lot of intelligence, and they really had the power over the consumers. And this applies both in B2B and B2C. And if you then transition to how this looks today, then you would see that if you would draw the same scale, obviously, that it would mean that the power has shifted all the way to the consumer. And of course, the reason is very simple. This represents an enterprise, this is the buyer, but today the buyers are way more informed thanks to the internet. They have way less time to make decisions, and they've become much higher, much more demanding in terms of what they expect when they purchase products and services. So that's the first big trend that we see in the market. Then let's have a look at the buying journey. If you look at the buying journey, and this is where the buyer journey starts, and this is where a transaction happens. You will today, that buyer journey, the first part of that buyer journey, and not only the first part, but throughout the buyer journey, a big part of the research and touch points with buyers are digital. And also the moment that buyers start to interact and have more meaningful interactions with sales teams or sales people, there, and again, depending on the research and the numbers, but up to 60% of the decision has been made, and obviously you only make the decision here, but a lot of the time before your sales team interacts with a buyer, that buyer will have Googled your product or service, will have maybe connected on LinkedIn with some of your customers, will have reached out into his or her social network asking information about you. Maybe will have attended a webinar or has been to a trade show where you're present. So a lot of the action happens before even sales teams or salespeople start interacting with buyers, making this part of the buyer journey super difficult. It really makes sales much harder than it used to be. And then there's a third big trend that we're seeing, and if this is the sales and marketing funnel, marketing used to have a big responsibility in, hey, fill the pipe with leads, give us leads, and then this is where the sales would take over and educate people maybe, or just provide information and close the deal. Right now, with all of the marketing automation technology, marketing plays a much bigger role, not only top of the funnel, but there's email nurturing, there's webinars, there's content marketing, there's all of this, white papers, ebooks. There's so much information available online, and it's all been, marketing took really control over this. Think about HubSpot, Marketo, Eloqua, all of these systems really helped sales and marketers to, if this is the sales and marketing funnel, marketing has automated a lot of that part, again, making it much more harder for sales. And there's basically no technology out there that really gives visibility to how is my content being used there. What are my sales reps doing? How does it resonate? There's no technology helping salespeople to do a better job there. So those are, that's the change. So we just talked about this is the change that is happening. And now let's talk about how is it impacting the sales team. So how does or how do companies need to think about differently about sales and what's coming at them. So if on one side we have, this represents the complexity of products and services. So this acts as complexity of products and services, and this one is the complexity of your buyer, of the decision making. So let's call it, so the more buyers or the more complex your decision making is, the more you'll be on this side of the graph. And if you're a company, or if your company is selling simple products to a simple decision making unit, then you're basically about here in this graph, and it means that it's what we would and Forrester actually, because I'm stealing this a little bit from Forrester in terms of they've written an article or a paper about death of the salesman, and the order takers, those are sales reps selling simple products to simple decision making units, and basically if you're in that category, you're pretty much screwed. You need to start looking for another job, because this will be completely replaced by e-commerce technology, B2B portals, B2B technology facilitating transactions. But if you're if you're selling complex products and services to a simple buying environment, that's where you need not navigators, but you need explainers. I was looking for the word. Because you need people who are able to really explain a complex product to a simple buying unit. If on the other hand you have a complex buying environment with a simple product, that's where you need the navigators, where I talked earlier about. Because you need people who are able to navigate between decision makers and make sure they get the right information that facilitates the decision making. And ultimately, the most toughest job or most toughest spot in this graph is where you need the consultants who are selling complex products into complex consultants, where you have people who need to be highly educated, who really need to add value, because ultimately, with all of the changes that we discussed, what is most difficult for the sales team or for the sales reps is really to add value and to be relevant during a sales conversation. And that's actually where a platform like Showpad, we are really focused on enabling and empowering these sales reps, salespeople, to deal with the more informed or empowered buyer and be successful in their day-to-day job. So I hope you teach something about changes that are happening in the market and how it's impacting your sales team. I'm PJ from Showpad. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe see you next time.